Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're diving into a story that's making waves, literally. President Donald Trump has announced he's ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be repositioned near Russia in response to provocative comments from a Russian official. Is this a bold move to show strength, or are we teetering on the edge of a dangerous escalation? Let's break it down. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get started. On August 1st, 2025, President Trump took to Truth Social to drop a bombshell. He's ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in what he called appropriate regions near Russia. Why? Because of what he described as highly provocative statements from Dmitry Medvedev, Russia's former president and current deputy chairman of their Security Council. Now, before we unpack this, let's set the stage. This move comes amid escalating tensions over Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine, and it's got the world talking. So what's really happening here? First, let's talk about why Trump made this call. Dmitry Medvedev, a close ally of Vladimir Putin, has been throwing shade at Trump on social media. Medvedev's been vocal, calling Trump's ultimatums to Russia over Ukraine a step toward war. On Thursday, he even referenced Russia's Cold War-era dead hand system, a secretive, semi-automated nuclear retaliation mechanism. Creepy, right? Medvedev's basically saying, "Don't mess with us, we've got the big guns." Trump, never one to back down, clapped back, warning Medvedev to watch his words because he's entering dangerous territory. But here's the kicker. Trump didn't just respond with words. He announced he's moving 2 nuclear submarines closer to Russia as a precaution, just in case Medvedev's threats are more than hot air. Now, Trump didn't clarify whether these are nuclear-powered or nuclear-armed submarines, and the Pentagon's keeping quiet, citing strategic ambiguity. That's military speak for, "We're not telling you squat." This isn't just a random flex. The US and Russia control most of the world's nuclear arsenal, and both have fleets of submarines that can carry nuclear warheads. The US has Ohio-class submarines, some of which are armed with Trident missiles, capable of delivering devastating nuclear strikes. These subs are stealthy, constantly on patrol, and part of what's called the nuclear triad: land, sea, and air-based weapons. So when Trump says he's repositioning subs, it's a big deal. But is it really a new move, or is he just making noise? Let's zoom out. Trump's been pushing hard for a ceasefire in Ukraine, a key promise from his 2024 campaign. He initially gave Russia 50 days to come to the table, threatening tariffs on Russian oil and other exports if they didn't comply. But Russia's not budging. In fact, they've ramped up attacks, including a brutal strike on Kyiv that killed over 30 civilians just this week. Frustrated, Trump slashed his deadline to 10 days, set to expire around August 8, 2025. Medvedev's response? He called Trump's ultimatums theatrical and warned that Russia's not Israel or Iran, it's a nuclear superpower. That's when he brought up the dead hand system, which some analysts see as a veiled threat. Trump, clearly not amused, decided to up the ante with this submarine move. He told reporters, "A threat was made by a former president of Russia, and we're going to protect our people." Sounds serious, but let's dig deeper. So, is this a real escalation, or just posturing? Some security experts, like Evelyn Farkas from the McCain Institute, say this is mostly signaling. Trump flexing to show he's not messing around. The US already has nuclear submarines deployed worldwide, so repositioning 2 might not change much militarily. But rhetorically, it's huge. It's rare for a US president to publicly talk about moving nuclear assets. Usually, that stuff stays classified to keep the enemy guessing. On the flip side, some analysts warn this could be a commitment trap. Trump's raising the stakes, and if Russia doesn't back down, he might feel pressured to act tougher. maybe even dangerously so. And let's not forget, Medvedev's not the one calling the shots in Russia. That's Putin, who's been quiet on this submarine drama, but reiterated his demands for Ukraine to cede territory and drop NATO ambitions. No sign he's ready to meet Trump's deadline. So, is this a real escalation or just posturing? Some security experts, like Evelyn Farkas from the McCain Institute, say this is mostly signalling. Trump flexing to show he's not messing around. The US already has nuclear submarines deployed worldwide, so repositioning too might not change much militarily. But rhetorically, it's huge. It's rare for a US president to publicly talk about moving nuclear assets. Usually, that stuff stays classified to keep the enemy guessing. On the flip side, some analysts warn this could be a commitment trap. Trump's raising the stakes, and if Russia doesn't back down, he might feel pressured to act tougher, maybe even dangerously so. And let's not forget, Medvedev's not the one calling the shots in Russia. That's Putin, who's been quiet on this submarine drama, but reiterated his demands for Ukraine to cede territory and drop NATO ambitions. No sign he's ready to meet Trump's deadline. Now, let's talk nuclear risks. The US and Russia together hold about 90% of the world's nuclear weapons, thousands of warheads. A single Ohio-class submarine can carry up to 20 Trident missiles, each with multiple warheads. One sub could wipe out entire cities. That's why this kind of saber-rattling is so nerve-wracking. It's not just about Trump and Medvedev's Twitter feud. It's about the potential for miscalculation. One wrong move, one misread signal, and things could spiral. The world's watching closely. Moscow's stock market reportedly dipped after Trump's announcement, showing investors are spooked. The Kremlin hasn't commented directly, but Putin's sticking to his line about wanting a stable peace, on Russia's terms, of course. Meanwhile, Ukraine's getting hammered with record drone attacks in July and that devastating Kyiv strike. Trump's also sending his envoy Steve Witkoff to Russia to push for talks, but with deadlines looming and no progress, the pressure's on. Other countries are reacting too. Germany's stepping up, promising more Patriot missile systems to Ukraine. But Trump's focus on sanctions and now submarines has some allies worried about escalation. Are we heading toward a Cold War 2.0? Or is this just Trump being Trump? Big talk, big moves, big headlines. Here's my take. Trump's submarine announcement is a bold play, but it's less about starting a war and more about sending a message. He's frustrated with Russia's intransigence and wants to show he's not bluffing. But this is a high-stakes game. Words matter, as Trump himself said. And when nuclear powers start flexing, the world holds its breath. What do you think? Is Trump's move a smart way to pressure Russia, or is it dangerously reckless? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. If you found this breakdown helpful, smash that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories shaping our world. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. And if you want to dive deeper, check out the links in the description for more on this story. Peace out.